annotation scale changes. I want to turn that on. Now check this out. This is really cool. This is for you, Chelsea, because you asked the question. But all of you can benefit from this because annotative is another way to do dimensions actually a lot easier. So if I were to go to linear right now, it asks me, first of all, you're creating an annotative object. That tells me, whoa, what happened? You know, what's going on here? It's always going to say this, okay, that nothing to be afraid of. And it asks you to set the annotated scale to the scale at which the annotation is intended to display. Let's leave it at 1 to 1 just to see what happens. We'll hit OK. Now we're going to do this. We click here, and we click here, and we go there. Oh man, AutoCAD sucks, you know, which is what people say. Well, no, it doesn't. It just, right now, it drew it 1 to 1. And 1 to 1 is on a 12 by 9 inch sheet. So if I zoom real closely in here, there's my measurement, okay? Looks pretty good, but that's pretty useless, okay? So what do? Well, now we don't have to go out to AutoCAD and change that value. All we got to do is down here is change this from 1 to 1 to, what did I say? 1/4 inch equals a foot? And there you go. Now let me show you what else is really cool about this. If the scale changes again in AutoCAD, 1/16, it does that. If I do this to, let's say, 1/8, it shrinks it. And if I go down to something like, let's say, maybe more like 1/2 inch, it makes it even smaller. This doesn't change at all, okay? That's a standard dimension, and it has its benefits. But over here, what we're working with right now is our annotative, and so annotative does it that way. So if I go back to 1/4 inch, it looks good, and we're good to go. So that is how annotative would work. And then here's the kicker. When you go into here and you want to plot, okay, this is where this gets really valuable. Like let's say I was going to plot this particular room at a scale of 1/4 inch equals a foot. Let me show you something really interesting here. Okay, right now, as I'm in here, because you're going to want to plot your work. So if I'm inside of here, am I inside here? No, let's get inside here. All right. Okay, I'm inside of this environment right now, which is called, it's a paper space environment down in the model. You'll notice that there's down here, there's another scaling type thing. And so right now, it's set to scale to fit. If I change this to 1/4 inch equals a foot, it scales it, and then what it does is it goes ahead, and both of these are working out nicely because of the fact that I went ahead and I hard-coded standard. But this is where it gets interesting. If, let's say, I say, okay, let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. Let's go 1/16 of an inch. Well, look at that. Standard doesn't keep up. The standard dimension size is not legible, but the annotative is. That's 1/16. If I go to 1/8, and this is when you're plotting, if you do this, this continues to scale properly so it's legible in the drawing, but the standard one does not. That's the difference between the two. So this is just a quick overview as far as how AutoCAD works with standard and annotative styles. Does that make some sense? All right, so annotative is a more elegant way to do it, but if you use standard, just so you have to put in a value. In my case, I hard-coded 48, but in this case, I can use any scale I want to because annotative is that flexible. Does that make some sense? All right, I've got to throw a lot at you, I know. Okay, trying to fill in some gaps here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now at this point, I'm going to give you guys some time to draw. I think a couple of you might already be done with everything, right? Is anybody complete with everything right now? I think, okay.
A
through H, is everyone kind of done through A through H? Okay, good. All right, A through H is what I was looking for. We're going to get to a couple other things. What I'm going to do right now is, what I'm going to do is